Okay, let's go back further now. Let's go back to when you were first starting out. Let's go back to your first tour with Spandex Dragon. I don't know if you remember that particularly well.
Spandex Dragon. The Spandex Dragon tour was something I didn't want to go on, really. I mean,
It was your first major break. Surely you were jumping at the chance of hitting the big time.
Not with a band like that, really. I preferred to stay unsigned at the time. It was a sort of decision like that. Kelso wanted to get out there. He wanted to take the music to the masses. But you know, you see, our music is like a little baby to me, and I don't think the baby was really ready for the world. But Kelso ripped the baby from my arms and took it to the world. And you know, I think if anything that set us back a little bit, because I didn't really feel at the very beginning of the tour anyway that I was actually communicating with the audience on a gut primal level from the heart. Later on in the tour, I did sort of, you know, there were exceptions to that, and quite marvellous exceptions, really. I remember one gig where we just came off, and it was just, I so felt like I was really communicating with the audience, and it was the first time I ever really felt that, and it's one of the most important moments of my life. Yeah. Hello! The thing is, the gig was slightly marred by Kelso holding like one extremely high note on his guitar for over half an hour. It was just, it was appalling. It was feeding back and everything, and we were like, what are you doing? And eventually I stormed off, I left the stage. But Kelso didn't obviously accept it like that. Kelso thought that maybe well, I think to be honest, he thought he'd outwitted me.
The tone. I hit his tone. It really was like.
Oh yeah, I think that's enough of that, I think.
John, is that alright? Do you want another cigarette one?
No, it's alright. Just
This was the best tone I've ever had. Well, yeah, Spandex Dragon, they picked up on us quite early on. I mean, way before Ash and Songwriting Days. I believe we were, I mean, at that point in time, our best song was still Papa. But, which is the first single, you may remember. We actually released that single halfway through the tour. But, yeah, I mean, that first tour was a big stage. I mean, that was sort of going from Absolon, the sort of like the garage rock band, sort of Absolon, the proper finished stage in Rock Article.
Have you shown a t-shirt?
Slave, that's how I feel.
That's how he feels. This gig was society. This gig was from the gut.
I felt like a guru. I felt like a guru.
Slave.
Guru of tone.
Slave to society.
Guru of tone. I think that's when people first started to feel the power and the phenomenon that we had. They first started to feel the tone. It's fucking beautiful. It's the best tone I've ever hit.
But like
All tour I've been looking for that tone. Now I hit the tone. You're telling me I can only hit it for like
20. Oh no, just once. I'm thinking you can hold that little thing going.
Mike, can you hit me on the back, please?
Plug it.
Hey!
Decimal time.
No.
I mean, sure, I did the tone for like half an hour.
Okay, I'm cool.
We're thinking.
That was a beautiful tone. I think that's probably the epitome of greatness. I mean, that was the best moment on the tour for me. I mean, I found that tone, I found that note, and I hit it once, and I thought that tone's fantastic. That sound is so good. And I don't think the rest of the band realised it at first, but I think they gradually conned on. And after I hit the tone again, and I began to hold it. The first time it felt good, so I hit it a second time, third time, a fourth time, and on the fifth time, I got the sustain. I mean, it wasn't the most long held out note I've ever done. I mean, I'm still since that point at work. I've been working on, and have worked on in the past. I mean, special guitar devices to enhance the tone. But at that point, I think that was great, and I managed to actually sort of stretch the tone over a good 15, 17 minutes. Is this in my tone? I can't.
No. Look, Absolon are flying high. We just had a great gig. We're just saying that maybe 20 minutes is enough.
Hey! I've had it with you.
Yeah, well, I'm fortunate enough to have a copy of that gig on video, but it's not something I bandy about or show to anyone, including the other members of the band. I actually found a Japanese tourist at that gig who had filmed the whole occasion for posterity, and thinking, well, and quite rightly I'm fairly certain that his video would be more use to me than it was to him. I commandeered it off him and have since watched it, well, infrequently I'd say, but I could never let Kelso see it because he wouldn't give it back.
About me, the band will end. Basically, I'm waltz altogether. Fuck the tone, fuck the art.